Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Buenas noches, soy Daniel Pineda.
Je m'appelle Adele, and mon ami, Gigi.
Mon ami.
Gigi.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you can see we have a diverse group and a new member on our anchor desk here tonight. News and Community Bulletin Board. Adele is here with...
It's easy being green.
Green for bats, you know.
That's right.
And our News for Seniors, Rich is here with his guest.
Absolutely,
Rich is he doing an interview tonight or just reviews? Oh, he's over there in the wings. And then Miriam is here talking with Steve Offutt about sustainability. What else? But before we begin, a social media reminder.
Absolutely, Mr. Nolan. Well, you can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1, and also on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News.
All right, thanks, Daniel. News for Seniors glasses are working tonight. Item number 1, the Arlington County Board will have a diverse working group help investigate the possibility of creating a new school. A group of representatives from local civic associations, Arlington Public Schools, appointed advisory boards, and others will work with the county staff to evaluate the feasibility of adding an elementary school to Thomas Jefferson Park, otherwise known as TJ. The working group should have its first meeting in September. Their goal is to have their findings ready for the county board by January of 2015. Some Arlington residents are petitioning to stop the redevelopment of TJ Park. You can learn more about this working group and all of what's going on the prospect of having a new school there on the county's website at arlingtonva.us. Daniel.
Well, Craig, a middle-aged man has been sentenced for killing his father. 87-year-old Mac Leon Wood of Arlington was killed in his North Wakefoot Street home on October the 13th, 2012. His son, Mac Wood Jr., a 49-year-old man who lives in Richmond, pled guilty to capital murder. An Arlington Circuit Court sentenced him to life in prison. In addition to Wood Jr., there were 2 additional suspects arrested in connection with the murder. Jean Caleb Pierre, 32, and Sapien Edmonds, 29, both of Henrico County, Virginia. And according to the Washington Post article, Wood Jr. claimed he was having money problems and his father wouldn't help him. Craig.
All right, another news items here. An Arlington student has just completed a summer program at NASA. Senior Alexandra Gardner, or Alex as she likes to be known, is from H.B. Woodlawn. She worked beside scientists and engineers at Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia to design the first human mission to Mars. Alex was one of 180 students chosen statewide based on her scores in an intense dual credit program. Alex is also a student advisor to the Friends of Arlington David M. Brown Planetarium. To learn more about the program, visit www.vasts.spacegrant.org. Congratulations and
Way
good
to
luck
go, Alex.
to Alex.
Yeah, that's
Good
great news.
Stuff.
Well, Craig, over 100 jobs are coming to Arlington thanks to a new restaurant. Bonefish Grill will open on August the 18th on Pentagon Road. They expect to hire 132 locals. Arlington area residents. Jobs include servers, hosts, bartenders, and kitchen staff. Applications are available online now through the restaurant's opening. And to obtain more information and an application, visit bloomingbrands.com/bonefish. Then enter 60759 for Arlington information. For other information about Bonefish Grill, visit bonefishgrill.com/Arlington.
It's good news. Bonefish Grill in Arlington. I could wash dishes. I could wash the dishes.
100 jobs. That's great news.
Put in my application. All right, another Arlington news here. Arlington got a new head of police this week, but he only stayed for a day. 9-year-old Patrick Omberg was sworn in by Police Chief M. Douglas Scott on the 8th of July. Omberg became the inaugural chief for the day by winning an essay competition. The essay answered the question, what does it mean to be a policeman? The ceremony was held at the courthouse police department. After taking the honorary police oath, young Mr. Omberg read part of his winning essay, toured the station, met the K-9 unit, received a commemorative plaque, and a lot more. The Police Chief for a Day contest will now be held every year. This year's competition was open to 8 to 12-year-olds. Congratulations to that young man on being Police Chief for a Day.
And I wonder if there were more tickets issued that day. That would be interesting.
Stay tuned.
Well, the Rosebud Film and Video Festival is back. Arlington Independent Media has just started accepting entries for the 2014 competition. Only Virginia, D.C., and Maryland film artists can compete. A panel will narrow the competition down to 20 films. Those films will be screened at the Artisphere in January. 5 winners will be picked and announced at a gala in Clarendon Ballroom. To learn more, just visit arlingtonmedia.org/rosebud/festival-entries-2014.
All right, Daniel, and we'll be back with our CBB, or Community Bulletin Board file, right after we hear from Adele, and it's easy being green, even for bats.
Where's my entry tune?
We're still working on the original one, let alone for bats.
No, we have some out there. Thanks here. My name is Adele, and it is Easy Being Green with the Bat Fest coming up August 16th. Connect your family with nature and get batty with the Eco-Active Annual Bat Festival at Gulf Branch Nature Center. If you like a wild nightlife, enjoy a thoroughly batty evening and learn lots about our local furry bug zappers. The Bat Fest will take place on Saturday, August 16th. From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Get rid of your spooky misconceptions about bats. They're not creepy or scary. And let's set the record straight. Even though there are only 3 species of vampire bats that feed on blood, relax. They're all in Latin America, and they lap it like kittens rather than sucking it up as the horror movies portray. Virginia has 17 of the more than 1,200 bat species, and 3 of Virginia's bat species are federal endangered ones. So add to your knowledge of local nightlife at the Bat Fest. The events will include crafts and games for families. You can go on a bat walk to see bats flying and hear their echolocation calls. Explore a bat cave. Learn about foods that are pollinated by bats. Play bat games, make a bat craft, take a bat quiz, or visit the Bat Art Gallery, all while learning how bats are incredibly beneficial to the environment. Live bat shows will be presented by Leslie Sturges, director of the nonprofit Save Lucy, a little brown bat established to protect and conserve bats in this region. Leslie specializes in bat rehabilitation and will be educating the public about these mysterious creatures at Bat Fest. So register children over 2 and adults for the live bat show that suits your family best. Children under 14 must register with an accompanying adult. It's $8 per person, due upon registration. You can register online at www.registration.arlingtonva.us or just call 703-228-4747. Or for more information, visit www.parks.arlingtonva.us or call this number 703-228-3403. And remember, it's easy being green, enjoying all things batty at Bat Fest, Arlington on August 16th.
And then watch all 3 Batman films, right?
That's correct. And
Batman. So you're saying give bats a little love, give them some love.
Amazing
I don't know.
Creatures.
Give bats a chance.
Invite them into your yard. I've talked about that.
I don't know. That would be a tough one for me. I don't know if I've ever been up close and personal with a bat. Thanks, Adele. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Adele.
Here we go. Moving right along now. Our CBB, or Community Bulletin Board file. Item number 1. Well, it's time for the annual Arlington County Fair, in progress as we speak here. The activities this year include bingo, frisbee, racing piglets, pony rides, family movies, and a whole lot more. And it runs from Wednesday, August 6th, to Sunday, the 10th. The fair is at TJ Thomas Jefferson Community Center at 3501 2nd Street South. There is no public parking on site or in nearby streets except for ADA and resident parking. Instead, you can take shuttle buses from the Ballston Metro, Career Center, the Pentagon City Metro, and the I-66 parking garage for a $2 round-trip fee. That's $1 each way. Visit arlingtonfair.us for more details. The Arlington County Fair is in progress. Daniel.
Well, Arlingtonians for a Clean Environment, ACE, needs a volunteer community outreach staffer at the Arlington County Fair. Volunteers will work with staff to share information with the public about their programs and volunteer opportunities. They will also highlight their Arlington Energy Masters program. Just call 703-228-6406 to learn more.
All right, Daniel, and other CBB items. If you like working on web design or development, then this one may be a great fit for you. The second ACE volunteer position. The group needs help with their WordPress-based website. The volunteer will be asked to assist with updates and other enhancements on a regular basis and for urgent, quick response fixes as needed. Most, if not all, of the work can be done remotely. For more information on this volunteer opportunity, give them a call. Here's their number, 703-228-6427. Daniel.
Well, Craig, if you sign up to volunteer in the Read Aloud program, you can share the joy and excitement of reading with children who live in homeless shelters and affordable housing complexes. If you can spend one night per week for 1 hour at the Reading Connections Read Aloud program, then call 703-528-8317. That's extension 10.
And also on our CBB file, Bikes for the World meets on Thursdays to prepare bikes to be shipped overseas. Volunteers can work in a warehouse to remove the pedals and make other adjustments to help the bikes fit into the shipping crates. The bikes will go to people in remote villages in Africa and Central America where bike ownership can help generate jobs, encourage small businesses, and more. To help out, give them a call. Their number is 703-740-7856. Daniel.
Well, Arlington Public Library needs help at the audio and video circulation desk. Volunteers will handle DVDs and CDs on hold for people. Shifts are available on Wednesday and Friday mornings. And if you can work for a minimum of 2 hours a week for at least 6 months, then call 703-228-7688.
And finally, in our CBB file, Arlington Public Library also has a vacancy for a welcome desk staffer. This volunteer will need to greet library visitors, direct them to the appropriate service desks, encourage and demonstrate the use of the self-checkout, troubleshoot copier issues, and provide other tasks as requested. For more information on this volunteer opportunity at the library, 703-228-7688. And we'll be back to introduce our man about town, Rich, right after we hear from Nort Beckerman and his Brain Healthy Minute. Here's Nort.
2, 1. Hi, I'm Nort Beckerman, the Brain Health Coach. Did you ever stop to think about the meaning of the word normal? It's probably acceptable in most references, but not when it comes to the brain. If a person looks, thinks, and acts like other people, they are considered to be normal. By that definition, Einstein was not normal. Yet under examination, his brain didn't seem to be any different than most normal brains. Are we to assume that his cognitive abilities were a freak of nature? What about any other person that exceeds beyond what is expected of a normal person? Are they all freaks of nature? Or is the behavior that we refer to as normal less than what we should expect? We take our brain for granted from the time we know we have one throughout life. Our brain functions according to its capabilities. That capability is dependent on what you do or don't do. You can and can't do, and on the health of your brain. The health of your brain is dependent on your processing of new information, hydration, the foods that you eat, how physically active you are, and your ability to get a good night's sleep. Don't settle for what is. Take your brain out of the past and move it into the future by keeping it healthy. I'm Nort Beckerman, the Brain Health Coach. I'll see you next time for a Brain Healthy Moment.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Bill. There on camera one. Here we go now, as promised, with our news for seniors. Oh, no, we're going to do Rich. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I will do
Hey,
senior.
you forgot about
Sorry.
Rich here. Come
no,
on,
no.
man.
I'll get caught up here in a minute.
Well, I changed my underwear and everything for tonight.
And about town for theater, the arts, and a whole lot more. Mr. Rich Masabni.
Hey, Rich.
Thank you,
My
boy.
My apologies,
sir.
yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
He's not okay today.
News for seniors. is after this,
There's
right?
another great production in the local theater around here. Little Theater of Alexandria in Old Town is currently doing Monty Python's Spamalot. Oh, wow. You know, that's a spoof on King Arthur. It has a great musical, and it's just great. The story centers around King Arthur, played by James Husko, and his search for the Holy Grail. Spamalot is a spoof, of course, as I said, on Camelot, with parodies and all the familiar songs. The acting, singing, choreography, costumes even, were just wonderful. First class at the Little Theater of Alexandria. Special kudos goes to the director, Wade Corder, and choreographer Grace Mechanic, and the Paul Nasto. He's a musical director. He had a nice, I'm knocked out. There's a huge cast of wonderfully talented singers and dancers. I'm telling you, you can go to Broadway, you wouldn't see it any better. It's a flawless production, and then there's a girl that'll knock you out. She's the Lady of the Lake, and her name is her real name is Ashley Amber Harris, and she is something. She's a knockout. When she comes out in a gold lame jumpsuit, I'll tell you the truth, that made an old guy like me jump. Smartly produced by Rachel Albert, Bobby Hurst, and Russell Weiland, Spamalot is a must-see. It runs through August 23 at LTA at 600 Wolf Street in Alexandria. For more info, call 703-683-0496 or check the website, thelittletheater.com. Okay. Now I want to tell you about Wolf Trap, remind you about Wolf Trap. I haven't talked about them for a while. Wolf Trap is still doing everything wonderfully, and whether you get seats and sit inside, it's not inside, but covered, or on the lawn. You guys ever sit in the lawn out there? You can
both, yeah.
You can bring wine and
It's great.
everything.
Oh, it's an event.
It is,
It
and you
is.
can see everything. Wonderful layout. I mean, they've got, for example, a Noche Flamenco thing, pretty good, That's August 12th. And then they have Boney James and Eric Bennett. You know that guy? Okay.
I think if they haven't already, Crosby, Stills, and Nash are coming too. If they haven't been there already, that's one of them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let me see. I missed that one. You know Yanni?
Yanni, yes.
Yeah, Yanni's going to be there August 15th.
Isn't he the pan flute guy?
That's right.
That's right.
Yanni. And then ABBA, the concert.
Oh, my
You know,
goodness.
ABBA people retired
Oh, my
years
goodness.
ago.
ABBA, yeah, really.
But I love the concert. They do all their songs, and just terrific. I never miss that. It's always terrific at Wolf Trap. Josh Groban, he's going to be there. He's going to be August 19th and the 20th.
Great singer.
And then Lyle Lovett.
Lyle and his large band.
There he is.
That's it.
On August 22nd. And then there's the band Perry. Who knows
Ben
them?
Perry's great too.
Okay,
Big
they'll be
country
there on
star. Huge country
August
stars.
28th.
Yep.
And Fresh Meat Band. You know them? The Fresh
No,
Meat Band?
It's a new one to me.
Yeah, me too. That's August 30th.
They're fresh.
You know George Benson.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's there on August 31.
George Benson.
And then you don't want to miss the Gypsy Kings.
Oh, they're awesome. I've seen
Aren't
them
they
there
nice?
a couple of times. They're great.
They're there September 4th.
They're great.
And, well, that's it. Now, what you should do is look up their website, wolftrap.org, or if you want to call over there, somebody will answer the phone. They have a bunch of phones. 1-877-WOLF-TRAP. And, it's one of the, it's the place to go in the summertime. It's just wonderful. Just wonderful. And now, my final thing I want to just tell you about, I got on my website, richmasabney.com, favorite Sunday brunches. And one of my favorite done things, buffet brunches. I go for buffets, so I can, I can eat here and eat there and graze and all that.
Grazing.
Yeah, I
Love
do.
the graze.
But no, if you're willing to go up to Potomac, Maryland, and why wouldn't you? Normandy Farm Restaurant, been around there for 80 years. Actually, older than I am. Can you believe that?
Hard to believe.
Yeah,
Hard to believe,
yeah. 80 years. They're there at 10710 Falls Road in Potomac. Their phone number, I want to give you that phone number, 301-983-8838. And they're, I mean, they got the best buffet. They got everything you ever thought of should be on a buffet brunch. Plus, how many places do you find that also have oysters and clams? Gosh. I think I'm going to leave now. Anyway, they got an interesting website, www.popovers.com. Wonderful Normandy Farm Restaurant. That's it for me. Thank you. That's it.
All right, thanks, Rich.
Thank you, Rich.
And we're running a little short of time tonight, so we'll be back with another edition of News for Seniors next week. And right now, here's Miriam and her guests.
Thank you, and welcome to this edition of the Arlington Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari, and I'm here with Steve Offutt. He is the Vice President of Sustainability for Green Diamond. He's also the chair of the Green Business Roundtable in this region, and more importantly, he is a second-time chair of the Arlington Public Schools Sustainability Committee. Thanks for being with us, Steve.
Oh, thank you, Miriam.
Steve, for a long time, I've been wanting to have you on the show to share with us a little bit about what your advisory committee for the schools does. Tell me about it.
Okay, so I wouldn't call it my advisory committee. I'm the chair of the Superintendent's Advisory Committee on Sustainability.
So you report to the superintendent?
Correct. So there are some committees and commissions report to the school board. And we advise the superintendent in this case. He formed the committee in January of 2012. And we sort of got ourselves organized, and then in that spring, I was elected chair. I've served as chair ever since for the last couple of years. I'll actually be stepping down since I've kind of put in my time at the end of the summer. The advisory committee's role is to do exactly what it says, advise the superintendent on issues related to environmental and issues and sustainability as it applies to the schools. We look at a whole number of different issues, including the facilities and waste, what we may purchase and so on, as well as curriculum, what we're teaching our students. At the end of the first full year of our existence, we submitted a report to the superintendent of recommendations. We had 13 recommendations that we gave to Dr. Murphy.
For 2012.
Right, so this was actually last summer, in July of 2013.
Oh, okay.
So it was essentially a school year.
Okay.
We gave him the report, or our list of recommendations, and we knew that they were going to take all 13 recommendations and undertake all of them.
And these recommendations spanned from curriculum to energy consumption, waste management, procurement, all of those things.
Correct. We have 3 subcommittees looking at different aspects of sustainability, and each of them put forward several recommendations.
And how many people on your committee?
There are 15
and
citizens.
I say your, but I mean the committee that you chair.
Right. So there are 15 citizens, and then there are also 2 staff members who come to all our meetings. There's a representative from the county itself, and we've been one of the 15 actually is a student.
Okay, so last year you said you had 13 recommendations, and then you were complimented on the organization of those recommendations, but this year you chose to narrow your recommendations. Can you tell me what recommendations you have this year?
Right. So, in fact, after we submitted the original report, we actually got together with Dr. Murphy, and he, in consultation with his staff, kind of narrowed down the ones that they wanted to focus on, have us kind of look at a little bit more in depth and try to bring forward maybe some more specific kinds of things related to them. And there were 5 in particular that they looked at, and they were issues related to how we might fund profitable projects, such as energy efficiency or renewable energy, that sort of a thing, how we might reduce energy use for lighting and appliances, waste. So right now, the schools recycle, and they also throw things away, but they don't measure that. So they have no way of knowing how well they're doing, if they're getting better or they're getting worse. So one of the recommendations we put out was measure. weigh or somehow measure how much is going to each of those streams so that you can manage it better. You can't manage what you don't measure. So that was one of our recommendations. We also, in the curriculum side, or maybe more on the PR side, there's a recommendation to put together a group to look at green ribbon schools. Green ribbon is a national recognition for schools that are performing well on sustainability. And the last recommendation they asked us to continue working on was looking at the SOLs and the goals that are laid out in the Virginia SOLs and correlate those with the curriculum that we actually teach in Arlington County.
Because sustainability is part of the core curriculum in several areas, from science to history.
It's not entirely coordinated, though. I mean, a lot of teachers are teaching things related to sustainability, and there are some different types of programs going on, but there's no sort of overarching theme, nor is there any kind of objective that's been laid out for what we expect our students to know when they finish school.
All right, there's going to be a lot of different areas that crisscross over, but what I want to zone in on real quickly is help me to understand this revolving green fund for renewable energy.
Okay, so you got just a tiny bit ahead of me there. For me, I think one of the most important recommendations is how do we get the performance of our schools from an energy and a water efficiency perspective to get better? And we need to come up with a way to fund that, to finance those kinds of projects. It turns out there are lots and lots of opportunities to do so for projects that actually are profitable, that return excellent financial returns, 20, 30, 40% on the dollar. And in fact, we have projects like that have been identified by Kathy Lynn, who's the energy manager for the schools, that we could invest in. But there is no financing mechanism available right now.
Okay, so what you're basically thinking about is possibly investing some money or dollars in efficiencies and then taking that money and investing it further to increase efficiencies and reduce costs. This is going to be a very fascinating conversation down the road. So I want to know, how can more citizens talk to you about this so that they can find out how it'll benefit them?
Well,
how do they reach you?
How do they reach me? So, I could be emailed at my email, steve@offuttemail.com. Also, Kathy Lynn in the schools could be reached to talk about that more. Right now is a perfect time for this green revolving fund to go into effect, because there is a particular project that Kathy has identified at Thomas Jefferson Middle School. In the community center, there's lighting in the community center, which is on for many hours every day, is extremely inefficient, antiquated, and needs to be replaced. By investing in that project, we can save more than $900 a week in utility bills, and that can be invested back into the fund, which will then be used to fund additional projects going forward.
Wow, that's exciting. Well, thanks so much. There's not many committees that are out there saving the schools money, and I'm really thrilled that you came here and shared that with us. I'll look forward to talking to you again, Steve. That's the Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari. Back to you at the
All right, thanks, Miriam. And again, apologies to Judy Masabny of OSAP. We'll get to News for Seniors next week. Shout out to Tim K, my tie guy. Thanks for the tie, Tim. And that's a wrap for this edition of the Arlington Weekly News.
Thank you,
Anything
Macy's,
else
for
to
my
say
tie.
before we go? Have a safe week. Next week, you'll be there. We'll be here. We'll do it all again.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.